anymore. Can you imagine being at a point of where you cannot feel your worship of the Lord? Can you imagine being at a point of where you are totally cut off from God? That's why when we look at the writing of Ezekiel, that he defines them as a valley of dry bones. He's not talking about a literal valley, but he is talking about the spiritual, emotional, and mental state of the nation. They have been beaten down so long that they can no longer see up anymore. They have been oppressed for so long that they forgot about what liberty was. They have been defeated so long they had lost their sense of hunger. And I believe that that is the dilemma that we find in the kingdom today, is that we have been joyless for so long that we have forgotten about the joy of our salvation. We have neglected our blessings for so long, we forget what it's like to be blessed folks. We have failed and turned our back on our faith for so long, we have stopped believing God for the simplest things in life. I'm trying to preach, if y'all help me this evening. We have no longer been walking in the ways that the Lord would have us to walk. But here the text, even though they were facing generational oppression, even though they were not way down in life, here is what I like about God, is that even when we are defeated, God does not give up on us. Touch your neighbor and say, wake up, neighbor. Pastor's trying to walk you into victory this evening. Even when we have been down and cut off from God, God does not give up on us. And I believe that's why someone can't praise him. That's why someone can't get their blessing. That's why someone cannot overcome the adversary, because they have lost sight of the fact that we serve a God that no matter how far down we are never too far for him to reach us. Someone ought to be shouting on that right now, because you weren't always in church on Sunday evening. You were somewhere with a slit small liquor bull man, waiting for the Celtics and Lakers. But look at what God has done in your life. Didn't he pick you up out of the abyss of despair? Didn't he bring you out of a land of bondage? Didn't he pick you up out of the miry clay? Somebody will say, Reverend, you show up preaching right now, because I know what God has done in my life. I was sinking deep in sin, far from the peaceful shore. I was very deepless within, seeking to rise no more. But the master of the sea, he heard my despairing cry. Don't look at me with your boozing self. It was the Lord that picked you up. Don't look at me like you're self-made. It was the Lord that made you. Don't look at me like you created your own blessing. It was the Lord that blessed you real good. Don't sit there with your no shouting, no praise himself. It was the Lord that blessed you over and over and over and over and over again when you did not deserve it. But look at the text coming alive. Here was the nation of Israel suffering on a daily basis. They couldn't feel their religion. They lost their sense of worship. But the text says that God had a man on a mission. That's your thing, isn't it? He had a man on a mission. The text says that Ezekiel said the hand of the Lord was upon me. You see, that's the first thing we've got to understand, is that when the hand of the Lord is upon us, it's not upon us for just any ordinary reason, but he has a divine purpose that he wants to accomplish in our lives. You see, that's why the church underachieves, is because we think when the hand of the Lord is upon us, it's limited to a shout, a holler, or a shabbat. But when God lays his hand upon you, that means he's calling you to do a work. He's not calling you to just shout in here, but he's calling you to do something outside of the four walls of the church. In the midst of their suffering, in the midst of their oppression, the text says that the hand of the Lord was upon Ezekiel. That means that out of the holy of most holies, out of the midst of the glory of heaven, that God sent down his midst of oppression and depression. You see, that's what I like about God, that even when we are in a dark situation, even when we are in a hopeless situation, that's when we need to be looking for the hand of God. You see, when you get down to your last dollar, that's not the time to hang your head, but that's the time to lift your head in faith. When everything goes wrong in your household, that's not the time to throw in the towel, but that's when you are start looking for the move of God. When the doctor says there's sickness in your body, you are not called a mortician, but start waiting for your healing. Here in the midst of the text, his hand, the Lord's hand was upon Ezekiel. He had commissioned him and gave him a mission. And you see, that's what we have to learn about the church, is that the church does not exist as a social organization. The church is not your neighborhood civic club. The church is not your family organization. But the church belongs to God. And that means that God has strategically placed the church, and he has laid his hands on some individuals to transform the world to the culture of Christ. Wherever we are, that means the Lord has a mission for us. That means that the Lord has a work for us. Well, why does he lay his hand on us? What is the work that we ought to be doing? That work is telling dying men and women that there is a Savior in Jesus that can transform our life. And I believe that it is a horrible thing in our society when we have young men and young women that live hopeless lives. When we have people that think just because the economy is bad, that our finances are going to be bad. Y'all better help me in here. It's a sad commentary when our life, our emotions, and our faith is driven by the things of the world rather than being driven by the things of God. But you see, the Bible that I read tells me in essence that we are the head and not the tail. It says that we are a peculiar people. So that means that when everybody else is suffering, because I'm peculiar, God can bless me in the midst of suffering. Here was God getting ready to do a miracle. He anoints and lays his hand upon Ezekiel. He fills Ezekiel with his spirit. And he says, Ezekiel, I have a mission for you to do. And you see, not only did he lay his hand on it, but he filled him with the Spirit. And you see, that's what we have to understand, is that when we are going to fulfill our mission, we've got to be filled with the Spirit of the Lord. Up here, Acts said that on the day of Pentecost, that they were on one accord and they were filled with the Holy Spirit. You see, they were filled not to just shout all over the church or to be spiritual superstars and say, look at me, lay somebody out. But if you are biblical and live a biblical sensual life, the Bible says that you are filled with the Spirit to be a witness unto Judea and all the ends of the earth. So that means you are filled with the Spirit, not to put on a sideshow in the church, but you are filled with the Spirit to go outside of the church and tell men and women, get ready for your miracle, get ready for your deliverance, get ready for your healing. Is there anybody in here that's getting ready for what God is going to do? If you're ready, you ought to just give God a praise right now. I don't have it yet, but I can praise him now. I'm not there yet, but I can praise him now. Because his Spirit is good. Let me hurry on so I can see Kevin Garnett and be Kobe tonight. The text, I'm speaking with a prophetic voice. The Bible